life, the bright lights, the type the crowd likes. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Lakers Hornets NBA shot clock, February 5th, a Monday, 7 o'clock. Top lean in this game, Charlotte plus 10.5. Both teams in tonight's game come in very difficult spots. Charlotte is in a 3rd and 4 home back-to-back spot, and they are 0-7 last 7 ATS. However, the Lakers are at the back end of an Eastern road trip of 2 consecutive huge outright wins in Boston and in New York on Saturday night in prime time. Now they have to travel down the coast to one of the worst teams in the sport before traveling home to face off against the Denver Nuggets on Thursday night in one of the biggest games of their season. This is purely a bottom out spot motivationally for the Lakers. The definition of a trap game. The Lakers already hammered Charlotte at home this year back on December 28th, 133 to 112. They were favored at home by -12 or -13. This opened up at -9. This game is graded to be a single-digit outcome against the spread. We think this game will be inside of 10 points. We advise you guys, if you want to bet on this game, the top lean, Charlotte plus 10.5. Enjoy this one and always bet responsibly.
What's going on, y'all? Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Monday, February 5th with my lean for today. Y'all, this is not an official play. It's just a lean. Under 243 Mavs Sixers. I have too many questions that need to be answered before I can get to the window and invest. Biggest question, is Luka playing? How am I invested in the Mavs game if I don't know that Luka's playing? So until that question gets answered, I can't get involved in this game. I do know Kyrie's going to be back, which makes me happy because I know there's a lot of Kyrie haters out there, but Kyrie is one of my favorite players in the league. Every time I've paid to go see a team that Kyrie's on play, I've gotten my money's worth and more. So there will be no Kyrie slander on this side. However, him coming back into the lineup, what does that do for everybody else? This team has a lack of continuity. Dallas has the most different starting lineups in the league by far, which is not a positive. You keep changing starting lineups means you lack continuity, which to me is one of the most important things I take into consideration when capping any team. Speaking of that, look at Philadelphia. I don't have enough of a sample size to go by without Joel Embiid to say they're this or they're that. What I've seen so far is that they've taken a serious stance in terms of not allowing teams to get out in transition and run on them. But is that just because they were playing Brooklyn and Utah? Is that going to change against better competition? Whenever you have more questions than answers, it has to be a lean until further notice. So under 243, Sixers Mavs is my lean for this morning. Let's cash these tickets, y'all.
Kings at Cavaliers, Monday, February 5th, 2024. It is NBA Shot Clock. Best bet of the day. Cavaliers -5.5, 1 unit. Cleveland enters tonight's out-of-conference matchup 11-3 ATS in their last 14, catching a nice upward flow that is not supposed to end anytime soon. Cleveland is 5-5 ATS at home against the West. You have to look at who they covered against to get a snapshot to what to expect in tonight's game. Those covers came against Golden State, Denver, Houston, Utah, and the Clippers. What are the similarities? Teams trending towards the playoffs and teams that have a high pace, very high offensive rating and field goal percentage and a lack of defense. Sacramento fits those metrics to a T. Sacramento comes into tonight's game on the final game of a 7-game road trip within the Eastern Conference. 5-1 ATS on this trip. Frankly, just too hot within this window. Speaking of being too hot, Sacramento is 3-0 straight up and ATS in their last 3 matchups with Cleveland. And books are telling us a numerical story with this line. Sacramento was favored at home and did win by margin on November 13th against the Cavaliers. And now the line is all over Cleveland with strength. Books are telling us Sacramento is capped at the back end of a trip, and they are capped with this small window domination against Cleveland prior. Buy this one tonight. The top play of this card, Cleveland minus 5.5, 1 unit.
What's up, y'all? Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Monday, February 5th, with my best bet of the day, which is the Clippers over 122.5 team total, a number that I think is just too low considering the Hawks give up 125 points per game on their home court. So let's just start there. The Hawks for the entire season have been a terrible defensive team. In November, they gave up 130 points per game on their home court. In December, they gave up 123 points per game on their home court. In January, they gave up 123 points per game on their home court. So all I'm asking the Clippers to do is go into Atlanta and do what everybody else is doing, except the Clippers are playing on a whole different level. Again, I know things are not that simple. We go look at the Clippers roster. Everybody looks like they're going to play. I think the last game that the Hawks played shows me what I needed to know, which is they won the game, but allowed Golden State to put up 134 points. That's exactly who the Hawks are. By the way, just to give the Hawks some credit, they look good right now. They're getting all their guys back. I see DeAndre Hunter's back in the lineup, and they got bodies. They could actually even win this game. They're a live dog. So I'm not willing to lay the points with the Clippers, but the Clippers team totals have been money for me for a while, and I'm going to keep riding that wave until it's time to hop off. Clippers team total over 122.5. Let's cash this ticket, y'all.
Raptors Pelicans, Monday, February 5th. NBA Shot Clock, another top official play. We're taking the Pelicans at minus 9.5, 1 unit. New Orleans comes home off a non-cover at San Antonio over the weekend, traveling after tonight's game to the West Coast for two huge games against the Clippers and the Lakers. One would think this is a trap. I don't think so. The Pelicans have performed great in home one-off spots, and they are 3-0 ATS at home off a road non-cover in the previous game. New Orleans is also 5-1 ATS at home against the East. Average win margin in those games, 15 points per game. This is where they turn up with efficiency. The opponent in tonight's game, the Raptors, are purely in an awful spot. Fifth game of a road trip, 3rd in 4, road back-to-back off a double overtime loss and hook cover last night in Oklahoma City. This is where the fatigue will catch up to the Raptors. This was already a fatigue spot before they played 2 extra periods last night. And this is a revenge game for the Pelicans, who took a 5-point loss in Toronto last year, February the 25th. In that game, Toronto at home was favored -3, and this moves across 12.5 points to the Pelicans, showcasing immense strength. Buy the Pelicans tonight, and let's cash this ticket.
What's up, y'all? Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Monday, February 5th, with another free pick, and we're rocking with the over 237.5 in this Brooklyn Nets Golden State Warriors game. Two teams that are 4-6 in their last 10. Golden State's an interesting team, and I think I can sum up their season with their last game. Steph goes off for 60, they score $134 and lose. This is not a good basketball team, and I'm taking the over based on the fact that their offense is clicking and their defense continues to do what it does, which is stink. They're averaging 125 points per game in their last 10, and unfortunately for them, they're allowing 125.7. I think the Brooklyn Nets will get up for this game for one very specific nuance. As someone with a lot of family in Brooklyn, someone who's been to a lot of Nets games, the Nets don't really have real fans. People in New York are still Knicks fans. So what I'm trying to say is, with Steph Curry, one of the biggest draws in the NBA in the building, I promise you more than half the people in the building tonight are going to be cheering for the Warriors. It's going to be that type of atmosphere, and I think that plays to the over because the Warriors are going to come in juiced. The Brooklyn Nets are going to try and shut that down. And the Brooklyn Nets, if you paid attention to their last 10 games, they play to the style of their opponent. Their last 3 games have been crazy high scoring. The 7 games before that, when they played very good defensive teams, have been pretty low scoring. Give me the over 237.5 and what I think is actually going to be an exciting game. And let's go ahead and cash this ticket, y'all.